everyone, welcome back. My name's Morgan. This is my channel, Pisces Paperbacks, and today I'm going to be wrapping up all of the books that I read in September. It was not as many as I would have hoped for. I started a bunch of books and I'm still in the middle of reading them, so I just didn't finish that many, but I did finish reading 9 books. Hold on! 7 of them were Ice Planet Barbarians books that I read in that 1 week, and then there's 2 other books that both ended up being sci-fi books, so, you know, my sci-fi September actually turned out pretty well. Your tongue just went in my mouth. That was so gross. Anyway, I'm just going to very quickly go over the Ice Planet Barbarians books and then move on to the other 2 books that I'm actually going to talk about a little bit more because they haven't been talked about in any of the other videos I've made this month. So, as you probably know, Ice Planet Barbarians is a sci-fi romance series about a bunch of women who are kidnapped from Earth and crash land on an ice planet and then start soulmate pairing with the native aliens there. I don't remember any of the characters' names, so I'm really just going to say the title and then the rating that I gave it. So the first one that I read this month was the second book in the series, Barbarian Alien, and I gave that one 4 stars, I believe. Then was Barbarian Mine, which I gave 4.5 stars. Next, I believe, is Barbarian Lover, which I gave 4.5 stars. Then Barbarian's Mate, 4.5 stars. Barbarian's Touch, 4.5 stars, and Barbarian's Taming, 4.5 stars. Overall, really enjoyed them. I don't really have that much more to say about them. I will link my Ice Planet Barbarians video above, but yeah, I really just had a good time with that series. So the first book that I actually finished in September was Persephone Station by Stina Leicht. This was a sci-fi book that came out in January of this year, and I just thought it had a beautiful cover and I really wanted to read it. Unfortunately, I ended up not really loving it. I gave it, I think, 2.5 stars. There is this person named Angel, and she kind of runs this mercenary group, for hire out of this place, out of this city. I don't remember what the city is called, on this planet Persephone, and she kind of runs it out of this bar run by Rosie, and Rosie's kind of this mob boss, crime boss, and Rosie hires Angel's crew to defend this native alien race from somebody else. And then there's also some conversation of IA, or not IA, AI, and can AIs have empathy and be people? There was a lot of things, a lot of moving parts, and I just didn't care. I was getting through this book and I was getting through it and things were happening and I was kind of interested, but there was basically at any point in the book I could have stopped reading and I wouldn't have cared, and I wouldn't have missed out at all. I wouldn't have felt oh, I wish I would have finished that so I knew what happened. I just didn't care. I feel there were too many people who the book was trying to make main characters. Specifically, Rosie is supposed to be kind of a main character, but I just don't feel they have enough page time to really justify that. Or it's Angel's supposed to be this leader of this for hire crew of criminals, but she just seems very unsure of herself a lot of the time, and she just doesn't feel the leader a lot. I don't know. It was just very meh to me, and I don't know. It was a lot. I do like that it was a queer sci-fi world where there was a lot of different gender expressions and sexualities that were just kind of accepted, but yeah, it just wasn't, you know? And then the last book I read was Space Opera by Catherynne and Valente, and this is a really fun, I actually really love this book. I'm probably gonna give it 4.5 stars. It is this really fun book where the premise is basically one day, just random day, aliens present themselves to humanity and are basically hey guys, just so you know, there is this intergalactic community and society of sentient alien races, and we see that you guys are getting close enough to good space travel that we think you could fuck it up for all of us. So we're going to invite you to prove your sentience to us in the only way that we've figured out how to figure out other alien species sentience without war, and it's a Eurovision style singing competition. And the aliens are like, we've provided a list of the people that we think, according to like modern current radio trends for aliens, we think from your repertoire would do a good job. And like they go down the list, and the only people available is this like broken up, washed up electro funk pop glam band from 10 years ago. And I loved this book. This book is definitely not for everyone. I would say good like half, almost half, fully half of the runtime is just like tangents about things that are like kind of related. They're funny, I like them, but if you're like, I need this book to be moving forward at a steady rate, and I need to be following the characters, and I need, like, if you're like, I don't care about these tangents because we're never going to see these aliens again, and you care about the fact that it doesn't really contribute except for just like building out the greater world and like the vibe of it, you're probably not going to like this book. I thought it was really, really funny. I thought it was kind of like, I know it's supposed to be, but it very much reminded me of like Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy or The Princess Bride, where you have a narrator that is kind of talking to you, the reader, about things. You know what I mean? So I really enjoyed that. I like that in books, but I also, the parts that were actually following the characters, I also really enjoyed those as well. I feel like this book has like, it's basically talking about like, is humanity worth it, and what is it about art and creativity and emotions and feeling and music that can speak to the root of the problem, you know, that really like makes life worth living. And I cried twice listening to this book, and it was just a really, really nice time, and I really liked it. So I'm excited to read more Catherynne and Valente books. This is the first one by her that I've read, but I've heard that like her books vary drastically in their tone and writing style depending on like what she's going for, so who knows. And that is going to be the end of this very quick little wrap up. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you read in September. I would love to hear about it, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.